with my previous video based on the alien parasite theory, discovering that it is in fact true. Case closed, but this had me thinking, where did the parasite come from? Well, that and this detailed comment I received from Kenzie Nathaniel. Thank you, by the way, I really appreciate it when you guys write me awesome comments like this. Now, creating a full story on this game has its limitations, because there isn't exactly a story mode that you can go through to pick apart. However, there are some clues around the map as to what has actually been going on. But before I go into that, in my first video on Among Us, I concluded that the crewmates are not human. Doing more research for this video, I was surprised that many other people came to the opposite conclusion, stating that humans evolved to be smaller at 3 foot 6 inches for space travel. Now, I'm not gonna lie, space travel does affect the human body, requiring more than the normal exercise just to maintain current body mass, let alone gaining muscle. Being in a weightlessness environment makes moving far too easy for the human body, but with a lack of pressure from gravity, the spine will actually get longer if exposed for long enough. So, essentially, humans should evolve to get taller and slimmer in weightlessness. But this is actually pointless anyway, because this is not what we see in the game. The spaceship has its own artificial gravity. No one is seen floating. You can't even argue the idea of magnetic boots because the imposter jumps up and falls into the vents. So if artificial gravity was stronger than Earth's gravity, then using the same logic, couldn't we state that we could have evolved to be shorter and wider, which is actually what we see of the crew members? Well, no. It would actually serve no beneficial purpose to increase gravity, as we'd only need to match Earth to stay healthy. Why make things harder for themselves? And not only that, but they certainly can't be humans. I mean, do you know how short 3 foot 6 is? That's the average 5-year-old, and the healthy weight of a 5-year-old is about 40 pounds, certainly not 92 pounds. That's more than 2 average 5-year-olds. The math just doesn't work out. The crew members are aliens of some sort, not humans. And just to make sure, I even tried to find references to Earth written on Innersloth's website for Among Us, and nothing. They avoided it, instead opting for return back to civilization and before the ship reaches home. Wherever their civilization's home is, it is not Earth. So if not Earth, where did it all begin? Many people that have thought about this question believed that it started on Polus. Polus was a mining outpost, which we know because although this can look like a small rocket, in an interview the devs corrected the fans stating that it's actually a drill. Also, when on the skeld, there are tasks in which you need to eject rubbish into space, and occasionally you might see a diamond in there, proving that they are carrying resources they've mined. But Polus looks to be more than just a mining facility. Maybe knowing the danger of Polus, they set up decontamination around the outpost, even in the trailer of the map specifying, please ensure you are fully decontaminated before entering. Using Polus not only for the valuable materials, but as a location for studying organisms like bacteria, viruses, and parasites. But it looks like an accident may have happened here, a broken vial releasing the imposter parasite. The place went into lockdown, those inside died from the imposter, and the people outside froze to death. A group could have called for help after someone became infected with the imposter virus, and the rescue crew came to assist, only to arrive and find that it was too late. Everyone was frozen solid. We certainly do know whoever was originally on Polus did encounter the imposter parasite, because of this group of frozen people all around the dead body, maybe discussing who the imposter was, which also proves that the imposter was not contained inside, likely using holes in the ground to escape. After discovering what happened on Polus, 3 of them unknowingly get infected, becoming the imposter. They still have some things to do before refilling the dropship to get back to the skeld and return to base, but someone is killed, and they now have to figure out who the imposter is. After dropping one imposter into the lava, they believe they have won and leave for their ship, the skeld. They reach the skeld after waiting in the waiting room, drop pod, They return to their main ship because the drop pod obviously doesn't have the ability for interstellar travel, which is what they have the skeld for, their main, long-distance ship, which clearly the canteen is made to support more than 10 people. It's likely some of the crew members didn't go to Polus and they stayed with the ship, just like with the Apollo 11 mission to the moon, with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin that got to walk on the moon, while Michael Collins stayed with the module travelling around the moon, picking them up for the return journey home. Those that died on Polus were replaced with the crew members that stayed on the ship. Having medical facilities on the ship and the task which confirms at least 1 in 5 are infected, with 10 crew members that could mean 2 imposters made it to the ship, which if there was 3 on Polus and we got rid of 1, this makes sense. Another task requires them to submit a scan. They realise there is an imposter on board and they must do something about it, as we mentioned earlier, before they get back to civilization. They manage to eject 1 imposter from the ship and believe that it is safe once again to land at Mira HQ. As the name states, is the crew's headquarters. Again they arrive via drop pod, and we know that they came from the skeld because of the statement, after a long journey on the skeld, crewmates should spend some time back at Mira headquarters. Surely there aren't as many imposters there. As well as it's the place where the files are being sent to from Polus and skeld, as those types of tasks are not on this map. But wait a minute, they said surely there isn't many imposters at Mira. Many imposters? That's strange, surely there should be no imposters. It's like they're expecting the parasite there, but how? They're trying to prevent it from reaching civilization, but it's already there. This explains why everyone wears hazmat suits, every single crew member, even those in different crews, and even the children. We've been looking at this all wrong. The parasite is already with civilization, so maybe they were studying it to gain its benefits. When the lights go out, only the imposter can see. Night vision must be beneficial for a space travelling race. Also, the fact that Mira HQ is a floating base, and when the imposter is injected falls into darkness, likely caused by the dense clouds and potentially the parasite's home planet, which is why it evolved night vision. And the imposter can win a game by depleting the oxygen supply, and surviving without oxygen would definitely be beneficial for a spacefaring race. They must have been trying to escape it in the skeld, escape to Polus, where they were clearly studying some form of parasite. Maybe they was hoping to find a cure, but it was accidentally released here with the broken vial on the floor. Polus is the endgame, and those frozen people around the body are just proof that there is no escape, no winners, no surviving.